Hey
Oh,
yo, hey
yes.
man,
Hey,
welcome
yo,
back.
guys. Welcome back to the KAL and Joe show
And
once
Joe
again.
show.
KAL. Oh, once again, it feels so good to be back again, once again on a Monday night, live once again on a KAL and Joe show. Boy, I've missed being live. It's been a real rough period with me, not because of the games you had to play, but with school breaks and all that. But, KAL, it's
Yeah.
always a pleasure to be joining you on this show. But, KAL, how are you doing, bro?
Hey man, it's been a while. I've not seen you. The last one I did it with someone, with Mark as well. So you've been busy with school and all. But
Yep.
before we even start anything, happy Diwali to all our viewers, to all our friends.
I
As
know,
well,
right,
thank you
bro?
to everyone who's been sharing and liking our stuff and our posters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But the thing is, it is Diwali, and the thing is,
yo,
we have our guests in our background. They can watch this as well. But to the viewers out there, I believe that we have a few people, or maybe a handful of people, who do
yep.
celebrate Diwali. So for the people out there, we have a short video clip for you guys just to show our appreciation for
Mhm.
Diwali. Cal, shall we do it? Let's hit it, bro.
Yeah, go for it, brother. Go for it.
Fellas,
Wow!
hit that
Brazilian
fireworks.
flair, bro.
Get
Brazilian flair on a
drunk
bit of
like
a
Neymar
Diwali.
Jr. Look at that, fella. Look at that. Cal, and to all our guests in the background, and to all the millions of viewers watching us, fellas, a happy Diwali, and I hope you guys had a beautiful Diwali with your family and loved ones. Yes, in COVID, we can't do
Yeah,
much, but fellas, this is much. This is it. We only can do this much. Eat some muruk,
yeah,
eat
man.
some probably lamb biryani and all this. But yeah, Cal, how was your
Yeah,
Diwali,
but
man?
it's good, man. Family and all partying. I mean, restricted party, I would say, and
Yep.
just good fun, man. Family and friends and all. It's just the whole point, right, to just get away from work. But yeah, man. Like even all of that, the whole weekend, I was actually quite pumped for this show because I'm a
Yeah,
Chelsea fan and I always like to hear from the rivals and the fans of the rivals.
I know, right?
So man,
As
I'm just pumped this week.
as much as I don't want to hear from them because they really thumped us real bad and hard. But the thing
Is it
is,
six? Is it six?
Kellen, that is what the Kel and Joe show is about. Kel, don't do that. Don't ever do that, bro. Don't ever do that. But this is it. This is what the Kel and Joe show is.
Yep,
We
yep.
are two bunch of football fanatics who just loves to bring clubs that we dislike, and we just love to hear them. We did Liverpool, we did United, and now we are doing Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah, man, you
Ooh,
got to give credit to where credit is due. Spurs is
yes,
it's a club that's up and that's killing and crushing it right now in the league,
definitely.
and they've got a great manager, a great squad. As a Chelsea fan, obviously we're worried that we're not the complete package yet, and but these guys already seem like they are.
Yes,
It's
definitely.
still early days, but it seems like they're getting the gears moving and grinding out results as well. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah,
let's
looks
not go
like
further, man.
our
Let's
numbers are good, Kel. Right.
Yep,
Without
let's bring
further
them
ado,
in.
Kel, do you want to know what should we tell the guys out there?
Yeah, man. So those of you watching, those of you who haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe to Napshot Studio on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram as well. Been doing lots of polls recently. Good feedback as well. We'll be coming up with some more polls this weekend. We're going to talk about transfer rumors. We're going to talk about Throwback Thursday, where we bring up the best African footballers in the
Yep.
Premier League. So we'll get your votes chiming in as well. So yeah, thank you and
That
please
is it.
subscribe.
Please do, guys. Please do.
Yep.
Kel. All right, Kel. This is the time where we all been waiting for. We have four lovely guests, intense fellas. I think out of the four, two have beautiful beards. The other two have beautiful characters, and these guys are not just normal Spurs fans. They are diehard Spurs fans,
Yeah,
guys. They are super diehard. I mean,
they're
if you
diehards,
were to
man.
look in
30 plus years,
Singapore,
20 plus
we
years,
can
you name
find
it.
the likes of Liverpool diehard, we can find the likes of United diehard, Arsenal, Chelsea. But in Singapore, we do have diehard Tottenham Hotspur fans in Singapore as well. Kel, I
Yep.
know you don't
Yep.
like this, but I
Yeah.
would love to do a grand entrance for these guys. I know they are your biggest
All right.
rivals, but this is it, guys. To all the millions out there watching, please welcome on board Navin, Prashant, Dave, and Shazad. Fellas, welcome on board to Nature Studios presenting Kel and Joe. It's an all Tottenham Hotspur affair. Fellas, welcome on board.
Thank you very much
Welcome,
for
guys.
having us.
It's so nice to see all of your faces. I mean, it's nice to see you guys. Some of you are clad in your Tottenham Hotspur jerseys, which is good. Kel, I just want to start off with Navin. Navin, you look really hyped up and ready to go. I just want to know, how long have you become being a supporter of Spurs, and how did you come aboard supporting Spurs?
I'm not joking. I've been a Spurs fan from the day I was born. Because I was born into a Spurs family. My dad's a Spurs supporter. All my uncles, my mom are all diehard supporters. So yeah, born
Wow.
into a Spurs family and have been a diehard ever since. So yeah.
And Navin, hold up. You've also carried on that tradition with getting your kids enrolled into the Spurs fan club as well. Am I right?
You saw my post. Yeah, so of
Yes,
course
yes.
I have to continue the tradition. Both the kids are Spurs.
Yeah.
They've learned the player names and everything. So yeah, they're gearing up to be big Spurs fans as well.
Fantastic.
They're super cute.
That is what you want to see, man. That is what you want to see.
That's just so nice.
Chess, yourself, my man. How long have you been supporting Spurs?
So I actually lived in North London when I was a kid. When I was 5 years old, my dad moved to the UK, and we lived in an area called Golders Green, which is a heavily Jewish area. And there was only one team you could support if you lived there. So I didn't really have a choice. I didn't know any better. So I probably embarked upon a now 40-year journey of a lot of pain. And perhaps that's why I haven't decided to embark upon child abuse with my eldest son. Unfortunately, my wife has taken him over and he's a Man U fan, which is a big shame on me. But the second one, I'm holding out hope. I'm still not sure. Let's see how this season goes, and then maybe my 4-year-old will be a Spurs fan as well.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed. That's all we can do. You've lost one already to the dark side.
Exactly. Very thankful.
Dave, saying yourself, sir, how long have you been supporting Spurs? Please share.
So I'm relatively lightweight compared to the other gentlemen here, but still about 26, 27 years now.
Wow.
My elder brother is it's much longer, because my elder brother, who was like 10 years older than me, was already a Spurs fan when I was a small baby, and he used to talk about Spurs, and he used to play those white, those soccer thingies on the paper, and then you press the thing and then ball goes. Yeah, so he always used to talk about the Spurs. I was like, what is he talking about? But I didn't know what was going on those days. And he finally sent me a jersey in, I think it was 94, and Klinsmann signed after the World Cup.
Yep.
And I've been a fan ever since. He was studying in England at the time. So yeah, I've been a Spurs fan ever since. I have a 4-year-old as well. I'm not sure whether he'll be joining us because he is born in Canada. Most likely he'll be interested in all the other North American sports, but I'll definitely try.
Ice hockey and all this, right? You never know, bro. You never know.
There's always hope.
Yeah, definitely. Prashant, my man Prashant, how are you doing, bro?
Good. Very well.
Just a quick question before we hit on Spurs. How long have you kept that beard for, bro?
So it used to be about till here.
All right. Ooh.
Like till here, and then I had to cut it off for some work stuff.
Man. That's nice. All right, bro. Let's go to Spurs, bro. How have you been? How long have you been supporting Spurs, and how did you come about?
So this was back in '91, the year we won the FA Cup. That was my first time I actually started watching the league. I was about 12 years old, and now I'm 42, right? So it's been a long journey as well.
Ooh, beautiful, man, Kel. I mean, you guys have such lovely memories, beautiful memories of all this, being a Spurs fan. But guys, we're gonna go straight into the topic. But before that, the comment section is buzzing. I think you guys got lots of fans. Navin, Shazad, you guys are coming in. But let's just take a look at some of the fans' comments here. Hey Jude, welcome back, beautiful people. Thank you, hey Jude. From the May himself, come on, Napshot Nation. Welcome back, football. Oh yes, finally, football is back this weekend. And Heikel, what's up, Napshot Nation? And happy Diwali to you, Mayor. Thank you so much, Mayor. And we go with Daniel Kasim. Happy Diwali to you guys too. You'll now walk alone. I think right now you guys are walking alone. A bit unded. I think you guys need help.
Let's not go there.
Definitely, but I'm not going to go there. All right, Faris, what a video. Indeed, we're going to thank Anwari for that. And Navin, a familiar face for you. Happy Diwali, guys. Come on, young Spurs. And the man himself, our boss, FJ, thank you so much for coming in. And
Yep.
as always, Kel, as always, Sean never fails to hype us up. Happy
Yep.
Diwali, I'm drunk. Bro, keep getting drunk. It's the reason why Diwali is there. But drink
That's
safe,
one of
bro.
the
Drink
reasons.
safe. Yeah. And we have Rasvinder saying, hello, Navin and boss, Shezan. Ooh, you guys are
bro,
really,
how are
really
you?
Friends,
lots
man.
of Spurs guys coming in. Sanjeev, come on, young Spurs. And
Morning, Spurs.
Michael. And we have Sanjeev is to dare is to do. And
Yeah, man.
we have one
Spurs are
more is
rocking.
one thing Spurs that is doing right is trusting Mount. The dusty cabinet will soon be full of silverware.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later on as well with Daniel.
We'll touch on
Good
that
point.
later on. Definitely good point. We'll touch on that. And just there's a few more comments. We'll just see one or two. Sean again, just don't let your children grow up to someone. Sean,
Yes,
let's
don't.
not go there. Let's not
Never
go
happened.
there. All right. Okay, fellas.
Yeah.
We are done with the comment section and has spoken earlier, guys. With the same emotions that you guys had being a Spurs fan, we want to bring you guys through and talk to us what we're feeling. Cal, take it away.
Yeah, so Champions League final, the first final ever, Spurs did a miracle job getting past. Man City was the first hurdle, but that game against Ajax, where Lucas Moura just became the shining golden star of World Club football for a day or two, where he just pretty much wanted the death for you guys, and then getting to the final. Because I know, as a Chelsea fan, when you get to your first final, all hell breaks loose. Nothing makes sense to you. You'll do whatever it takes to get there or watch the game, or make sure you do tune in for the game. So from you guys' perspective, getting to the final, how did you guys feel? Like, was it your time to win the Champions League, or were you guys still a bit apprehensive or unsure about it? Navin?
I'm breathing heavily as you're bringing up the question because that's how emotionally charged I am about this. To be honest, when everybody asks me about this, I try my best not to speak about it. I think getting to the final was the most awesome feeling a Spurs fan ever went through. When we scored the winner against Ajax, right? I just lost it. I burst. I To be honest, I started punching the ground and I started tearing because that's how much it meant to me. I what Sheza said earlier, you're suffering for don't know how many years and to finally get to the Champions League final. So yeah, getting there was the most awesome experience, and then the final itself. Thank God I didn't pay for a ticket to go there because I think I may not have come back. I would probably kill myself there.
Good, good, good transition there. The whole segue to Shezad, who actually went all the way there to watch the Champions League final in Madrid. Shez, you want to share that experience?
Well, yeah, I mean, like Navin, I definitely woke up the neighborhood when we scored that winner. You know, I thought we were dead and buried. Lucas Moura I mean, I'm getting chills just talking about it right now, right? It was incredible, right? Something you'll never, ever forget. And it was the journey, not the destination. That's what I keep telling myself anyway, right? So it was fantastic to get to the final. And I decided, whatever happens, I'm going to go to Madrid and I want to watch this game. But the pricing just got crazier and crazier. I used every connection I thought I had, and I couldn't get a ticket until the day of the game in Madrid. And I went up with some friends. They decided to pay the price, and upwards of 6,000 euros. And I had a little chat with the wife, the Man U supporting wife, and she said, you got to have a limit at some point. I listened to her. I didn't go. I watched it in a bar with the one or two friends who were left who decided not to buy tickets as well. And when the final whistle went, the first reaction was, "Oh, we lost," but on the balance of play, it wasn't a great game. I'm just glad I did not spend that money. That was actually the biggest overriding feeling I had. So when we talk about the Champions League final, it's more about us getting there. I wasn't really probably that bothered in the end. Liverpool were the better team. Not on the night, I must add. Not on the night. I thought they weren't great. And we edged it. We just didn't play particularly well. To me, Harry Kane shouldn't have started. That's a whole other conversation. But I'm just really glad we got there. And we weren't even playing great football, by the way, for those 6 months preceding the final. So it was pretty much a miracle that we got there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
Dave, Prashant, you guys, let's start with Dave. Your thoughts getting to that final. Do you feel that Spurs have arrived?
I can still remember Lucas Moura. He's done it. Oh my God! That I still feel, yes, exactly. I still feel the goosebumps all over my body, even talking about it now. I shouted the condo down. I think they were thinking someone was getting murdered in the condo or something. My father-in-law, who was down from Canada, came running out and says, I told you they'll win. And then he went back to sleep again.
Oh my god,
And,
that would have been a sight, man.
and that was and by the way, he's an Arsenal fan, and that's even
Ah,
a different story.
oh my goodness, fellas.
What is this going on here? Fantastic. Go ahead.
But it was amazing. The feeling was amazing. There was such a long break between the semi-finals and the finals. Like 1 month. That 1 month, I think every Spurs fan in the world was walking on air. Was literally walking on air, myself included. There was a smile going to work the next morning. There was a smile going to work the next week. There was a smile going to work the next month until the first minute of the final.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic,
that
fantastic.
was the phase after the first minute of the final.
Yeah, and Prashant, yourself, everyone's saying, okay, I mean, the thought is Harry Kane should have started, but
Yep.
I mean, besides that, but that final itself, kickoff, were you were you saying we're going to win it, or were you still sitting on the fence?
I was actually thinking we were going to go for a draw. I thought we were going to play out the full 90 minutes, draw it out, and then go to extra time and then finally use the penalties. That was what I was thinking, and I was sitting with I think 12 Liverpool fans in someone's house, like the Lone Ranger.
Oh.
It was a painful exit. Literally after the final is when sorry boys, I've got to go home, and literally I just walked out after that. But I think the getting to the final was great. I think that was really the crowning glory for Pochettino. I think that was his crowning glory, and then it just went. I think after the final, everyone just lost it.
Yeah, I can imagine. And let's try to bring the mood up back again. I think everyone's feeling a bit downer by the Champions League thing. Let's bring the mood up. Let's walk down White Hart Lane. One of the most, I mean, in the 90s, you grew up watching football. White Hart Lane was a stadium synonymous with good players, like great players, Gaza, Klinsmann, and your defense, your attack. It was the Spurs' home ground, where Chelsea would be a bit wary to go ahead. The derbies were always fierce and really contested. So, just to get your thoughts, has anyone ever been to White Hart Lane? Hands up
I
if you
did.
have.
Yep.
All of them have. And
Oh.
geez, dude, these are hardcore. We told you we're not lying, man.
Okay,
So
we got to
just
get it from each of them, bro.
Yeah, really quick one,
Holy
Prashant.
ground.
What's the best memory for you at White Hart Lane?
You know what? Just walking in to have a beer.
Yeah?
Literally walk into the stadium, get a beer, had a walk around because I was there like maybe 3 or 4 hours earlier, and then went to the pub, the Bell and Hare. Hung around with the guys who are local natives, right? Who are actually like really even bigger hardcore fans than we were, and when I got to the stadium, finally had the beer, sat down. I was literally 1 seat away from the pitch.
Wow.
So I was really dead flux, and I was very lucky. I got a ticket online, and yeah, 40 pounds. Right, didn't have to pay the 10 grand for the final, but it was amazing.
And what game was that?
I almost broke down in tears.
What game did you watch?
It was against Crystal Palace. We drew 0-0.
Where were you sitting at, man, Prashant? Can you figure out this image? Where were you sitting at?
I can. So PHFC across the F.
All right. Over here.
And then first row, second row up.
Oh, wow. This is really, really close.
Very close.
Very
My
intimate
God.
stadium.
I was
And-
swearing
Yeah.
I was swearing non-stop. I think the players got a little bit pissed off after a while.
No worries. That's the whole point of it, right? Being so close to the ground, you can say whatever you want and enjoy yourself. It's a moment for you guys. Dave, yourself, what game did you watch at White Hart Lane, and what's the best memory you have of it?
I've actually watched a few games there. The first game I watched was way back in '97. I think I was like 17 years old. I told my dad I was thinking of going. I was doing the A levels at that time. I told my dad, I'm thinking of going to scout out the universities in the UK. So he said, okay, you can go to the UK because I have aunts there and stuff. So he said, you can go and stay there. Okay, you can go. But actually, the first thing I did literally was I landed there. I went to White Hart Lane. That was the first thing I did when I went there. I was crazy those days. The first game I watched was actually against Coventry City on the last day of the season.
Whoa.
Coventry City were relegated before the game,
Okay.
but they somehow won 2-1 and they stayed up.
Oh.
Typical Tottenham. Typical Tottenham. Back then,
Oh my
That's
God.
beautiful
I.
90s.
So spicy.
Oh,
So spicy.
Coventry. That's a name you haven't heard for a long time. Coventry.
Oh yeah.
Shazad, yourself. Best memory of White Hart Lane.
I think
Oh,
we're
that's
losing
me?
Sajad again.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Shazad.
you,
Sorry,
bro.
sorry, sir.
Go ahead.
Yeah, your best memory of White Hart Lane, and which game did you watch there?
Well, very quickly, whenever you say Coventry City to Spurs fans, it has a very special resonance, and it normally ends in tears for a lot of us, referring to a certain cup final. I was 12 years old when we lost.
Yep.
So just a little note there. But yeah, I mean, I told you guys I grew up in the UK, and at the time, my dad refused to bring me to any games. This was early 80s, right? Where a brown man shouldn't be probably in a football stadium too often. So I never got to watch him when I was a kid. But then I went back to the UK to study and live in the late 80s. So I've seen a lot of games. And I actually can boast a 100% record. I've never seen us lose whenever I watched us play live in a stadium. So that's kind of special. The one game that actually comes to mind is quite interesting because I actually took your cousin, KAL, Jamit Singh.
Oh yeah.
I took him to, yeah, he's a Liverpool supporter, by the way. So he came to visit me in the UK in university. And we went and watched Liverpool Spurs. And I told him, when we go, you need to just take it easy if Liverpool score, all right? Promise me you're not going to go nuts, because we were sitting with Spurs fans. He's like, yeah, no problem. Patrick Berger curls in a free kick. What happens? What do you think? The brown guy next to me goes wild, right? I'm like, dude. I'm like forcing him down. Anyway, we won 2-1, thank God. We won that game 2-1. And so that just lives in my memory for the reaction that I got out of him and the people around us.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Why not, right? Had to be my cousin. Had to be the one
Had
screwing
to be,
things up.
had to be your family, girl.
It's always my family, bro. Don't worry. Navin, yourself, sir. Quick one. Best memory of White Hart Lane.
Best memory of White Hart Lane. I've been a total of 9 games. I think best memory would be the first game where we played against Everton and Spurs won 5-2. So that was like a super euphoric experience for me. I also have a horrible experience as well. Brilliant me decided that, my wife's a Liverpool fan. So on our honeymoon, I said, you know what? On the way back, before we hit Singapore, we shall watch Spurs beat Liverpool and then we'll come back. So I said, okay, come, let's do it. So that was the game, right? That Spurs lost 5-0. I wanted to kill myself. My wife was sitting with me at the Spurs corner. Each time, like you said, Liverpool scored, right? She was like, she couldn't celebrate. Yeah, so I got one bad memory and every other game was a win. So thank God for that.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I mean, that's beautiful. So now that everyone's spirits are back up. Everyone's feeling a bit better now. Good memories, feeling good vibes. So let's just move on from this, Joe. Let's talk about the transition really quickly. We'll leave it open up to anyone else who want to share a thought or two on. Let's talk about Spurs from the past 3. I think there was Villas-Boas, maybe Sherwood in between as well. Then Pochettino, then now Jose Mourinho. The transition for you guys, seeing your club go through 3 to 4 different managers. What has been the biggest difference, the biggest takeaway?
Yeah.
I mean, besides league standings, position, Champions League final, but the team as a whole, what has been the biggest takeaway for you guys?
What was the key takeaway, the key factor where you guys felt that, okay, the team is improving under boss, and then went on to Poch, and then went on to Mount, and then now you guys feel like you guys are on top of the world? I think maybe anybody, guys, you can just share that. I think we want to start with Navin or Shazad. Go ahead, guys. Or Prashant, Dave.
I think we're missing Tim Sherwood in between somewhere.
Yeah, he's in between that. Yeah, he's in
I think
between that.
I can always edit it in.
Yeah, I'll take this one. For me, it started with Martin Yeo. Martin Yeo was the one that got it started. Mm-hmm. After Martin Yeo, Harry Redknapp came in and brought it to another level. In between, of course, you had Sherwood and Villas-Boas. Of course, these guys were good, but I think Pochettino, we were very, very lucky to have him as our manager. Pochettino brought us to the next level. Don't want to be ungrateful here and say that, that Mourinho is doing a better job. I think Pochettino was playing beautiful football, the kind of football that Spurs fans want to watch. We expect a certain style of play from our team, and Pochettino had that.
Yep.
And the thing is, right, towards the end, we had a manager. I mean, I know Wenger Salam was telling me, you guys have an awesome manager. But I said, Wenger, we haven't won away in close to a year. So how can you tell me that we have an awesome manager? So the thing is, right, for me, I think Poch did whatever he could. It's a guess to, I do not know how he would have fared with the current signings that we have now. But I'm happy with Mourinho. Mourinho, in my opinion, is going to bring us silverware. And again, not being ungrateful, but that's something Poch just couldn't get under his belt.
He
Yeah.
couldn't close it. Basically, he was the almost man, right? He was like, okay, we got to the final, we almost won the FA Cup, we were close to getting the FA Cup, we close to the League Cup, and then, nothing. Then we almost won the league itself, right? And lost in the last couple of days. He was the almost man. And going back to me, I think Martino really did kick it off, right? The belief started, and then Redknapp came in, and he was a great man manager.
Mm-hmm.
He was an excellent man manager. He basically even got Modric playing to what he was supposed to be playing, right? That level has gone to Madrid right now. ABB for me was really a step down. I think he was a terrible manager, in my opinion. He was cold to the players. There was no there was no camaraderie, right? And then suddenly comes in Tim Sherwood, brings it back up a little bit, and then Pochettino, now Mourinho. And each one has its own strengths, each one's own weaknesses. I'm just hoping that Mourinho does not go back to his old self and start, just blasting out stuff just because he wants to say something.
Yeah, but just on that point, looking at Pochettino, do you think that Champions League final kind of wore him out completely? Like he just threw all his energy and effort behind that. Like Dave, do you think that Pochettino just after that Champions League final he was done? He was maybe mentally or physically exhausted that he couldn't take Spurs any more further.
Actually, they came to Singapore after the Champions League final. They beat Juventus with that lob, in the last few minutes of the game.
Yep.
And it was very positive. Everything looked very good. In fact, everybody, there was huge crowds, people chanting their names. They were, you have that. Yes, there's that post game, that hangover, that funk that you have to get out of. But I didn't really feel that was the case in this so much. It's more that I feel that we didn't get, for example, we didn't get Fernandes. If we got Fernandes and we got Eriksen out and we got Fernandes, we won't even be having this conversation. I think Pochettino will still be our manager now. That's my opinion.
Which Fernandes though? Jensel Fernandes or?
No, not that guy. Because if Eriksen had gone, if Levi had sanctioned Eriksen going for like 25 million or whatever, we would have used that money and we'd have got Fernandes. Can you imagine Ndombele, Fernandes, and Lo Celso together in the midfield? That's amazing. That's the kind of midfield that will take us. He was talking about a rebuild. This is what he was talking about. He was talking about it, and I agree. Come on, I mean, whatever is said and done, right? You must remember, we have the 6th highest wage bill in England, but we were 2nd, we were 3rd, we were 4th. Yeah. We were building a new stadium.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We didn't even have enough money to sign Jack Grealish, who looks like he's the best player now on the pitch whenever England plays.
Yep.
So I feel that everything has to be put in perspective. He has done an amazing job. He has lifted our profile like maybe 100 times probably from what we were last time. Mm-hmm. He has brought that belief into the team that we can win. We have stopped losing players. How last time, if a good player, Gareth Bale, okay, I'm going to Real Madrid. So many players, they stay around. This is because of this one man. I will never forget what he has done for us. I respect him. I think he's a gentleman. I think whoever gets him next as a club, I hope he goes to PSG, or I hope he goes to England, or I hope he goes to Argentina. Definitely, I don't hope he goes to United. I hope Solskjaer. I hope Ole's at the wheel for the longest time because Ole will take
Stay there,
guys over
Solskjaer.
there. Yeah, I hope he's at the wheel for the longest time. Ole can please stay at the wheel. Please stay at the wheel. Please, it'll be good.
Please, Ole. Please.
Yeah, yeah, really, really. I was really hoping, that you beat Everton. Good, beat Everton because then you'll stay a bit longer. It's good.
You guys will never know what will happen, man. You guys will never know. Mourinho won't stay for 2 years or 3 years.
Yeah,
You
no,
never know.
I like Coach. I like Coach. I think Mourinho is like the finishing school for Coach.
Yeah.
But I feel at the same time, given what he had done for the club, I felt that at that time, and I still do, I feel that he should have been backed. I feel he should have been given time to turn things around. I feel he would have turned things around. So I think Levi panicked. I think Levi was like, "Oh my God, we might not make it to the Champions League next year. Oh my God!" And he pulled the trigger.
Yeah, but I mean the whole Pochettino thing. Yeah, he seemed like he's a nice guy. He's a good manager, but
Yeah.
he didn't in football. Nice is fine, good for you, but you need to win something. And Shazad, from your perspective, Pochettino, yes, he's done a lot for the club, but you're only a legend or someone the fans already put in your heart if you win a title for a club. So I'll be honest with you. I think if I'm wrong, please correct me. If Mourinho wins a title for you all, Pochettino will be good. He was good for us, but he won't be that status.
Forgotten man, though.
Well, I got to say this. We are a team, we are a club not used to winning very much, okay? So we have plenty of legends in this club who have won little to nothing, okay? And so whatever Pochettino has done, and by the way, he was far from perfect, all right?
Yep.
There were plenty of things that he did do that pissed a lot of us off. His open flirtations with clubs, his poor reaction to substitutions. Just look at the nods from the other fans here. They all know this, right? He has done, we punched above our weight, way more than we were ever going to, right? I think Davis has mentioned the lack of spending, the stadium that came into it, the net spend. We were perennial winners of the net spend trophy, by the way, okay? For 5-6 years. That was the only thing that was in our cupboard, right? So he had a chairman who they seemingly had a great relationship, and I've talked about this on a number of shows I've done recently, where it was a fantastic, beautiful relationship between Tottenham and Pochettino. Pochettino's main gripe was that Tottenham, his other half, his partner, was cheap and not spending enough. What happens? The partner dumps him and then goes out with someone else, an older person who used to be pretty hot in the past, and now starts spending on their new partner. What's going on, right? And that's kind of how it feels. However, the club still looks across at Pochettino. All fans I know still have a very, very big soft spot for him. We wish him all the very best as long as he doesn't play against us in the Premier League. And let's win something with Mourinho in the next 2 or 3 years. I don't know how long it's going to last with us. And I think I would be pretty safe in saying, let Pochettino go to somewhere like, say, PSG, win loads of trophies there, get that under his belt, because he needs to get that monkey off his belt, right? Get that monkey off your back. Come back to us. The prodigal son returns, and we blaze to glory. It's a Fergie type era for the next 20 years. This is my fantasy. I don't want anyone to spoil this right now.
I'm not going to spoil it, no worries. I won't spoil it.
Right? We all kind of want this. We all kind of want this. Deep down, we all kind of want this. But let's win something, Mourinho. Let's play gritty football. I hate gritty football, but it's effective. And then he comes back, and we are away.
Yeah, and touching on that Mourinho point, I mean, everyone has watched that documentary, that the whole Spurs documentary on Amazon. But beyond that, whole point was that he said that he felt Spurs were a very soft, nice team.
Yep.
If you beat us, okay, we lost on the pitch. There was no. You need a little bit of a bastard in you to get the result, to grind it out and fight for it. Right now, looking at the Spurs currently that you guys have, and Mourinho, what has he brought to the club besides that mentality? Has he brought that siege mentality to your team, to your players? Because I see you guys grinding out results that you normally wouldn't have last season or the season before. Take example, the last game with Harry Kane scoring it.
Yeah.
What do you think he brings besides trophies and results? Eventually he'll get there, but what does he bring to the team, to the core of the team?
Sorry, can I get this?
Yeah,
guys?
go for it.
Like you said, he himself said you need to be cunts. You can be the nicest people off the pitch, But on the pitch for 90 minutes or whatever, how many minutes we play, you need to be a cunt, like the biggest cunt. So I agree with him. Actually, that was one of the weaknesses that I felt that Pochettino didn't kill off games in that sense. He didn't make the changes which was necessary, which was what Shazad was saying just now. Things that he will hopefully improve with time, as like all wines, they age well, the good wines especially. Hopefully he'll improve with that, and maybe one day he'll come back and fulfill our fantasies in that sense. We'll see. But yeah, so that's what he brings to the team. He knows when to make the substitutions. You're not playing, get the fuck off. Sorry to use the words, but yeah, get the fuck off.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Then the C
We're not a
word.
PG-13 show. Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, fellas.
Get off the pitch. Get off the pitch,
I feel the hype that you guys are saying. Prashant, sorry, Dave, I'm going to just cut you off a bit. Just want to share your thoughts on this. Yes, Mourinho is coming in. He's coming in with a great charisma. I know he has got a great experience in it. But do you think over the years, Mourinho's special one mentioned has just died off, has just faded off? He's no more the special one that much. And he doesn't seem to be likable through the media. And he seems to have a very, very difficult time. And right now, what we feel is he's pretty much comfortable. But do you think these are just early stages? Maybe Navin or Prashant, you can take this on.
I think it's early stages. I was telling my friends when he signed on last year, I was like, I'll give him 6 months, and I'll give him 8 months, and then now the season's begun. It's all good so far. Like I said, right, my biggest fear is that he'll go back to the Mourinho of old, where he'll call out people in the media, he'll berate players in front of everyone. Right now, he's having a ball of a time, right? He's joking with the players. He was talking to Son and goes like, Harry Kane's the man of the match, not you. Little things like that where he's mucking around. But the moment he opens his mouth and he starts to berate the club as a whole, I think that's when the honeymoon's done. I think he'll be out very, very soon.
Yeah. Navin, go ahead, Navin.
Can I touch on Prashant's point? Prashant's point, he was saying, Mourinho's, to be honest, his true colors have started to show to a certain extent. Look at where Danny Rose is.
Yep.
Danny Rose is with the under-23s. Look at where Dele Alli is. In the documentary, he told Dele Alli, today you're 28, tomorrow you're 50, you're going to throw away your whole career. He kind of, protected himself there, and now Dele Alli can't even get into the team. And to touch on Dave's point, yes, the team, his exact words were, be a bastard, be a cunt, but be an intelligent cunt. So if you ask me how the team is playing now, they're playing like a bunch of intelligent cunts, and I love it. Look at where we are now. We are in an awesome position. Yeah. I do not know whether we can win the league, but we're right there. I do not know whether we can win the League Cup, but we're right there. UEFA Cup, we're right there. So as a Spurs fan, can you really complain? No. Will crack show later on? 100%. Like Prashant said, 100%. It will show later on. Even now itself, there is here and there with Dele Alli and Danny Rose.
I think for Danny Rose, it's an interesting point, right? I was just thinking about it. I've never really liked the guy as a person. As a player, yes. But as a person, he's been mouthing off, right? Even at Newcastle, he said stuff. Even at Spurs, he's been saying a lot of stuff. And if he thinks that because he's he was an ex-national player and came up and all that through the years and stuff, that he deserves a place because he deserves a place, I don't think that's right. When he was injured out for a long time, he came back, he was all pudgy and stuff, but he got back to fitness. They told him, you don't deserve the place, but if you work hard at it, same thing. And Ali has been playing at top level for 5-6 years now, as a wonder kid till now. See, my opinion is like he's played so many games in his years, he's tired. Right, he's basically tired. He's like, I don't want to do this. I'm jaded. It's the same thing week in and week out, expectations and all. And he's a young person, so it's a different mentality, right?
And just touching on the whole Mourinho, I think. Go ahead, Shaz. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, sorry. I just wanted to say, how your question at the beginning was, Spurs nowadays they're grinding out these wins that they otherwise wouldn't have done. We keep saying that every season. Oh, we're doing this now that we wouldn't have done that before, right? We keep saying that. We keep telling ourselves that to make ourselves feel better, right? We were saying that under Pochettino. Oh, we wouldn't have. That's a game we would have lost 3 seasons ago under Villas-Boas or under Harry Redknapp. It keeps happening. I'm just going to point to 2 games this season that still piss me off when I think about them, and that's Newcastle and particularly West Ham. right?
Yeah.
Those
Yep.
are typical Tottenham Hotspur results. Typical, right? So that has not left our DNA. I'm sorry to say. That isn't going to change under Mourinho. That's just going to continue. And we have got that little thing about being Spursy, about bottling it at times. We just have to close out games. Now, since then, we have ground out. Agreed. We have definitely ground out. But
Yep.
let's not be surprised if it happens again later on this season. And as Navin said, I will take 30 more 1-0s if it gets us something this year at the end of the season.
That is actually my fear, actually, because the thing is, we are okay with Mourinho getting these results now in this kind of style.
Yep.
But if those 1-0s become reverse results, I don't think any of us will be happy with that kind of style of play. But to be fair to him, one thing I respect about him is that because when we had people like Serge Aurier on the field, they know where to attack, and that's why we were conceding the goals.
Yep.
But the moment he took him off, and even though I don't think Doherty is a very good replacement either, we have been getting more solid at the back. And when you don't concede, you win games. It's that simple. Especially if you have a striker like Harry Kane and Heung-min Son Heung-min. You know?
Yep.
Just a quick note. My concern is how we've played in the last 4 games, right? Reminds me a little bit of how we were playing at the start of this year. It wasn't particularly inspiring football, right? In fact, it was downright terrible. I'm not saying the football right now is downright terrible, but it didn't get you excited. Now, this is the constant debate that Tottenham fans have, right? Style over substance. And we need to kind of get over that. And Dave is right. All well and good now if you're pulling out these results out of the hat. 88th minute, a little too close for comfort, but Burnley were they were very well organized. They really pushed us hard, and they could have even nicked a win. What's going to happen in the next few games? That is the big one, right? Those are the games that really matter. Those are essentially 6 pointers.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think what we have feel for the four fellas is they are actually quite impressed with Mourinho, but at the same time, they feel that Mourinho can go back to what he is before. But the thing is, I have one comment here, Kel, for the four guys. Kel, I'll just read this out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach may not win us trophy, but I think he has the best gameplay, which is very entertaining and beautiful. But Mourinho's counter-attack also is one of the beauty in football. From Mohammad Naim, thank you for the comment. Fellas, do you want to touch on this, guys? What do you think of this comment here?
I think this guy enjoys the catenaccio of Italy.
Go, Navin. Go ahead. Yeah, so I completely agree. Pochettino's style of play was the Spurs way. If you want to talk about Mourinho's counter-attack, what counter-attacking did you play against Manchester United? 6-1. That was the Pochettino style win. So, so that arsenal of attacking play, Mourinho has it. It's just when he wants to use it. Because Manchester United faced the brunt of it, and that was a Pochettino game. Trust me, that the way they played that game was the way Pochettino would have managed. So Mourinho has that in his arsenal. At the same time, if you're winning 2-1, you need to grind out the result. I love park the bus and get the result, which is what we didn't do in the past.
No,
if we get park the bus at the end, I'll do it. And right at the end,
If you actually look at
now we are agreeing to parking the bus, huh?
Sorry.
When Mourinho was in United, fellas, I feel like all of you fellas were actually pointing up. United were parking the bus, but it's okay. This is not about United. I'll keep my cool in this. Dave, go ahead.
Actually, if you notice as you were talking about the West Ham game, yes, it was actually because of the personnel we had. Aurier is good at attacking, and we weren't playing Sissoko in the middle. When we play Doherty and Sissoko and wings on top of that, we become a very defensive-minded team, and our style of play changes, and that's why we don't seem to be having this fluidity in attack. The problem Mourinho has is that he doesn't have that bridge because Lo Celso is not fit. Hopefully, he'll be soon enough. Hopefully, Gareth Bale gets back to some semblance of his previous form. Then maybe we'll have it again. But at the moment, we don't have that. So Mourinho is just doing what he can. He's putting what he can. He's doing what he can. But I think if we finally get that click between that 6-1 win team and this team, Reguilon is one of the pieces in that puzzle, I'm sure. It's just the other side, because whenever we play Aurier, we are always exposed on that side. And the teams know this, and they keep attacking us down that side. And when that
Yeah.
happens, Eric Dyer doesn't look like a centre back. He looks like I don't know what to say, but he looks
He's
like
not a
something.
centre back. He's definitely not a centre back for whatever he plays. Right, he'll never be a natural centre back.
So just touching on that, because we speak about Mourinho, but we all know he's been backed by the club. He's brought in about 8 new players, 8 transfers in this season, all over the pitch. Right, he's brought in. I'm not mistaken. He's brought in. We spoke about Reguilon, Doherty, Holberg, Rodon, Vinicius, Joe Hart, even, and of course Gareth Bale. So, seeing as this transfers that they've brought in, do you feel that this really firms up the position where there's 2 of each player for every position in Spurs? So if injury happens, things go down, you guys are in it for the long run. Does it seem like the management and Mourinho are coming as one and building out a bit more thought instead of just spending willy-nilly? Shazad?
Yeah, I just think certainly in the last 3 decades, this is probably, or let's even go with living memory. I think this is the best, or certainly the deepest squad we've ever had, and everyone had a tingle, right, when they saw the number of players coming in. This was a bit different from the Gareth Bale money, right? When they sold, what was it? When they sold Elvis and bought the Beatles, was the famous quote back in the day. But this time, I think we bought the Rolling Stones. It just felt like that. It felt like they actually bought players in positions that we needed. This is not something we do very often. Actually, we don't even buy players very often. So this was just, it's something very unfamiliar to Spurs fans. I still can't quite get over how many players he bought. And we're even talking about January window at the moment, which is, unheard of. So he has plugged holes. And this is, by the way, is what Liverpool did. Liverpool did this superbly a year and a half ago. I'm not trying to say we're going to emulate what Liverpool have done necessarily, but look at how much better Liverpool got when they plugged the holes, right? Yep. And this is what I wish we had done a year and a half ago. Remember, Spurs were the first team to have never bought a player in a transfer window, in the summer transfer window, right?
That's
We've gone from that to getting 8 guys in. So it's an incredible turnaround for the club.
And Prashant, just to touch on that, sorry, Prashant, just that, I mean, you brought in players who've played in the Premier League before, in Holberg and Doherty, and even to a certain extent Joe Hart. I mean, having this experience, do you think, it's much more of a team that is much more experienced already from the get-go? So based on the transfers that have come in, who has impressed you so far? Which one of these guys, of the 8 that have been brought in, who has impressed you?
Reguilon, for sure.
Yeah?
Reguilon, definitely.
Why so?
I mean,
what does he do different than what's previously not? Okay.
So he's young, he's fast, and he's really bringing total dimension on the left back, right? We've had Danny Rose, and then we've got Ben Davies, whom I really rate as a decent defender, not great, but as a decent defender, right? He gets in, he gets things done. I think Reguilon was one of the best buys. Vinicius, I am waiting. I'm just waiting for him to be really unleashed onto the club. I think the worst one was Joe Hart, in my opinion.
Okay.
You
let Michael Baum go and you brought him.
I don't think we should have gotten him. I mean, there's Casemiro, right? Who's young, who has played a couple of good games, right? When Lloris was injured or he was a backup keeper. He made mistakes, as all keepers do, as all people do. But he should have been given a chance. I think Joe Hart should have just been there as a senior person to help develop the squad. What Michel Baum did for a bit.
I think actually he was signed because of the European and the homegrown player requirements.
That's
the problem. That's the reason Gazzaniga is losing out. It's actually because of the homegrown requirements and the Europa League squad numbering system and all that. So actually, it's unfortunate, but I also don't like Joe Hart, but I can see why we got him.
Yes, you got someone with experience.
I think it is what it is, man. Navin, give us the nail in the coffin, bro. Come on, go for it.
Joe Hart's defense.
All right, man. This is what we want.
Oh, there we go.
I went yes when we signed Joe Hart. I'll tell you why. Mentality. His mentality is of a different level. Even when he's on the bench and Spurs win a game, he's celebrating like he won the World Cup final. If you watch the post-game celebrations, he goes batshit crazy, hugging everybody, high-fiving everybody. No, it's all about the passion and the spirit, and he brings that to the team. That is something, goalkeeping-wise, it's not the same Johar as the past. It's not. But
Mm.
for Kawa goalkeeper, the former England goalkeeper, and the winning, he's won the Premier League and whatnot. I don't think I'm very happy with that signing. But in my opinion, besides Reguilon, for me the signing of the season has been Hotspur.
Yep.
Because the
Okay.
business that we did to have Carl Walker Peters go across for that amount and we need to top up just a couple of million to get Hoiberg. What a brilliant piece of business. Salute to the club management for pulling that one off. Yeah.
Yeah. This I agree with this. He's the most
And fair
important
enough.
signing this season.
Yeah.
He's
And
definitely
fair
the
enough
most
on
important
your
signing this season.
fair enough on your whole keeper situation. Let me tell you this way: you guys don't have Kepa with you. End of the day, so be happy.
That's not
Only
yeah,
70 million. Not too bad.
let's hit some of the comment section, fellas. I think
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
get one question out of the comment is one comment first. He's saying Mark Osaka is saying that Spurs got a serial winner in Jose. United lost his first game. I feel that definitely. And if there's one question we shall hit it is this. I think Navin, I would love to take you on this. Who will you look at left back after next season, given Reguilon's good form, which will prompt Real to activate his buyback clause?
Sure. That is based on if he wants to go back. So after he wins the Premier League and UEFA Cup with Spurs, he's gonna stay with Spurs after that. So it's not a problem for us and all. That's my answer.
Fantastic.
Good answer.
Nope.
Good answer.
And this and speaking about all the players you brought in, but we kind of forgot about someone else as well, Joe. I mean, you forgot about three of your guys that have gone somewhat missing or under the radar recently, which is your three English boys, Dele Ali,
Yeah.
Harry Winks, and Eric Dyer. They seem to be gone AWOL or missing somewhere. Your thoughts, boys, on I mean, the players you brought in are obviously an improvement for some area, but we're talking about Dele Ali, the guy who had an amazing few seasons, but somehow has just dissipated into thin air. So your
Yeah, I
thoughts
mean,
on these three boys?
Prashant, you want to go ahead first, Prashant?
Sure.
Start over
So, like what I said about Ali, right? He's been playing this top flight for years now.
Yep.
It's literally he's been in the limelight. He's been playing. He's been in and out of the England squad. He's been in and out of the squad. He's been injured and stuff, and he's still growing up. So for me, I think this is his season of transition where, he gets a break. He looks at life again, and then he realizes, okay, you know what? I've actually got it good. Maybe if I really start working a little bit harder, things will change. I probably want to get back in the squad. Everyone goes through that in life anyway as well. So.
Yeah. And from this tree, who you guys think will actually bounce back into the squad? Dave, who do you think will bounce back and get a spot back in the squad easier or maybe quicker than the rest?
I mean, Eric Dyer is a Mourinho favorite. He's there every game if he can play. I personally don't rate him so highly, but I think he would be better as a midfielder rather than a defender. I don't want him to be the last man between Salah and the goal, ever. Let's put it that way. But he'll be okay if he's in front of somebody who's the last man.
Yeah.
Between Salah and the goal.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
and
he's there already. But of these two, Harry Winks is a dependable. He's a limited but a decent Premier League level player. That's a fact.
Okay.
Navin
is laughing really high over there.
Yeah. Dele Ali is one of those, how do you say, geniuses. The problem with him is he went in the wrong direction. He got the typical distraction of a young English kid from a not so good background, suddenly becoming a big player. Suddenly there's attention, fame, fortune, girls, money, whatever, everything is there, sponsorship deals. He's got distracted. And that was what Mourinho was talking about in All or Nothing. He was talking about this. If this guy can get his focus back, he'll be good, but I have a feeling bridges have been burnt because he's not even getting a look into the squad now. If you ask me now, being a practical person, if say Pochettino goes to Old Trafford and suddenly says, I want Dele Ali for 50 million, I'll say thank you, I can drive you there also, no problem.
So Dele Ali seems to have not been, no longer a fan favorite. Am I right to say that, Shaz?
No. Hold on. I think, look, the guy came in. He is the archetypal Spurs player, right? Really good on the ball, maybe a tad lazy, doesn't track back so much, tries to tricks and flicks, and ultimately delivers from time to time. That is a typical Spurs player, right? They love this kind of player. We've grown up on that. And when he first burst on the scene, we couldn't get enough of him, right? Sadly, I think as articulated by Dave, there's been a lot along the way that's happened. What didn't help him was when he started dipping in form, Pochettino, he was a favorite of Pochettino's. And Pochettino used to persevere with him on the basis that he would come good, right? And so that probably engendered in him a feeling of, I merit a place in this team. Unfortunately, Mourinho is a very different sort of personality. And he doesn't, as we well know, as Joel knows as well from his time, and as you, Cal, as you know, he does not brook any kind of, he doesn't spoil people, right? He doesn't really have favorites, and he will call you out. He's done that with Tanguy and Ndombele, and it's worked.
Yep.
Some players need an arm around them. Some players respond to criticism. It's still not quite clear to me what kind of personality he is. I thought at the start of his reign with Mourinho, he responded. Yep. He responded brilliantly. We all know the talk about Delhi's brother and all that kind of thing, right? And it seemed to spark something in him. Yeah. The documentary, which by the way, I've refused to watch the infomercial yet. Maybe one day when I got nothing else to do, I will. But I don't think that has helped. And neither, by the way, something perhaps we haven't really considered is the guy got robbed. The guy got robbed at knife point. Now, I don't know if that has had an effect on him. That's not really being spoken about. This is a macho sport. Maybe that's affected him. I don't know. I'm not trying to look for excuses. I still love Dele Alli. I'm still harking back to the old Dele Alli. He needs to pull his socks up, right? He needs to get back and really put the hard yards in because he no longer walks into this team. I'm sure we'll talk about our favorite formations in this side. It is very, very difficult to see if everyone is playing at their optimal level, how Dele Alli merits an automatic place in this team. If we look at, say, a 4-3-3, which is what I think we all kind of want, then he can't get into this team. Going back to Dave's point very quickly on Doherty, he's a wing back, and so is Reguilon, actually. And we haven't seen the best of either one yet, even though Reguilon's had a pretty good start. If we play three at the back and you get those two bombing forward and they have a bit of cover behind them, then we're going to see the best of them. But we haven't had that yet. The problem is we don't have three good central defenders. Only one that I trust is Toby Alderweireld, and he's beginning to age a little bit. He's slowing down. We talk about Eric Dyer. You were asking about Eric Dyer. Yeah. You know what? He was a fantastic holding midfielder. The glory years in 15, 16, 16, 17, he was superb in a holding mid-role. He does not engender too much confidence as a centre-back. And I tell you what, Davinson Sanchez, even less. The guy is Bambi on ice. He shouldn't be in the Spurs team. Sorry to say. He looked really good when he came across from Ajax. I don't know what has happened. He's really gone downhill. Joe Rodon had a very good weekend for Wales, a couple of matches. And I'd like to see him get a chance soon because Davinson Sanchez should be nowhere in the side. And Harry Winks, dependable, great sideways merchant, and he tries really hard. He's got the passion. I just don't think he can cut it in the first 11.
Yeah, and I mean, we're speaking about these three players, but Navin, I want to touch on the other three players. Based on your 4-3 formation, these three guys over here, Bale, Kane, and Son. I'm going to tell you from a Chelsea's fan's perspective, I'm not looking forward to playing these three anytime soon, which will happen, I think, in the coming weeks. Because Son is another level. Kane will get you a goal here and there, plus his work rate. And then you put in Bale, the unpredictable enigma, who can just conjure magic out of nothing. So looking at your front three, are they the best at the moment in the Premier League?
I'll go one step further. I'll say right there, probably the best in the world. Bale, Kane, Son on their day, untouchable. But that's not the case at the moment because Gareth Bale is not the same Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale, okay, I will say this. I wouldn't say that he's not on form. He's not hit the levels that we've seen him hit before. If he can reach those levels in the coming games, then okay, we are looking at probably challenging for the title. If Bale can stay fit, that's another thing altogether. But on paper, Kane, Bale, Son, it strikes fear into it. In order to find an equivalent, right, you would have to think of either Liverpool or Real Madrid or PSG. You have to go to that level in order to challenge Bale, Kane, Son on paper.
I think
Okay.
the biggest signing that every Spurs fan really wanted this season was like, oh my God, Gareth Bale is coming back. Everyone was thinking about the Gareth Bale of 7 years ago before he went to Real Madrid. That young, I used to call him the kuda, the horse. Guduk, 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 boom, goal. He used to
This
run
is
like
the
that.
guy, guys.
Yeah,
This
There
the
is
you
the
go.
horse
guy.
as well. Those days.
What a haircut.
He had the lungs of a horse. Lah. That guy could run. I remember that. So
Yeah.
people are still thinking about that player. But
Yep.
in Real Madrid, he became a different kind of player. Yes, he was like that in the beginning. I still remember the games where he ran through the whole Barcelona defense and scored in the cup final, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Copa del
Yeah.
Rey. Yeah.
He had all that, but now he's
Yep.
old. He's 30 years old. He's had injuries. He's not the same player anymore. But he's still a very good player.
Fair
Still a
enough.
very good player, definitely. Definitely, I think that if he gets, even 60 or 70% of what he was before back, I
Yep.
still think he's a better player than anybody else we have. Um, and he should play in the first team. Hopefully,
Sure.
we'll see that. If we see that, I can tell you this: there's definitely a chance that we will be challenging for the title this year.
But I think,
Fair enough.
yeah, I think, but I
Prashant,
think,
I've got a
yeah,
question for you.
before you even go there, I think for Bale to regain his form back, I think
Mm.
he got to stop playing golf first. I think maybe he's spending too much time playing golf. I think maybe then we might see the form of this though. Cal, go ahead, Cal.
Someone as exciting as him on the wing plays a really, pardon to those who play golf, a really boring sport in golf. It's really night and day. But Prashant, for you, I mean, when you heard that Bale was coming back to the club, did it make you go, "Yeah, this is the last signing we need, the gem to get everything, the gears in motion," or were you skeptical having Bale back?
I was happy he was coming back.
Okay.
What I thought was he would bring a different level of intelligence to the team.
Mm.
You know, with Son, Kane, and Bale in those positions, right? But even if Bale's that the footballing intelligence between those three is terrifying. It's unbelievably terrifying.
Yep.
Whether Bale plays the full 90 minutes or plays 63 minutes or whatnot, if they really have that link brought up,
Yep.
I think that would be the most dangerous front three a lot of people have seen in years.
And Chess, on that front three, let's talk about Liverpool's front three and Spurs' front three.
Mm.
Given you've got a Liverpool supporting good buddy, would you rate the Spurs front three better than the Liverpool front three right now?
Well, right now we're doing better than them, right? So yes, no. Two of the three are firing. Two of the three are firing. Bale is really being slowly, agonizingly slowly brought into the trio.
Mhm.
It'll take some time. I was a bit surprised that he's going to be playing a fair bit in this international week. I'd love to see him sort of turn up for the big games. Look, if these three can fire, this is like MSN. Right? Remember that with Barcelona, Messi, Suarez, Neymar. We had the BBC with Benzema, Bale, and Cristiano, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to call these three guys. We got the Hurricane, Sonado, and Bale Force. This is the perfect storm, all right? It could be a damn squib. Let's just give it a few more weeks, a few more months. They can gel together, and we will create something special. But I think we've just got to manage our expectations. We are a greedy bunch, Tottenham Hotspur fans, right? We have not had it so good like this. And we all got excited, but I think deep down we know he's not that same player. And I think Mourinho has tried to manage that expectation. So let's see. I think if they can fire, they can, depose the front three of Liverpool.
Fair enough. And before we come to the end of the show, we got there's one more topic to touch on, or two more actually, really quick one. Joe, you got some comments you want to share?
Well, the first up we'll go with Mohammad Ryan, who says that we got to play Rondon and bench Eric Dyer. I think maybe not. We might have a mixed feelings in this. And Mohammad Niam is saying that Eric Dyer used to be our best ball-winning midfielder. Yeah, I think over the years, I think he did become a very good ball-winning midfielder. But I think what Chris said, he has lacked the confidence right now.
Mm-hmm.
And one more from Faisal Jabba. Dele Alli reminds me of Chris Weddle and David Ginola. Clever player who's lousy at tracking back. I think touching back on Dele Alli though, Navin, Ferguson did tell that Dele Alli is one to watch, one of the young players to watch. And Actually, during his time in United, Ferguson wanted to get Dele Alli though. Do you feel that preferably maybe Dele Alli needs to go away from Spurs to
Okay.
become something, or does he need to just stay at Spurs? Because looking at English players, look at how Jesse Lingard is. I would love to get the fuck out of him, but the thing is, he's still here. Can't help it because of being an English cunt, and he still has to be in England. So, do
Okay.
you feel that Delhi might end up being a Jesse Lingard in United?
Okay. So let's talk about Ferguson and Dele Alli first. So if you watch the documentary, Ferguson, Mourinho does mention that, during his time there, Ferguson only asked him to sign one player, and that's Dele
Yeah,
Alli.
yeah,
And I'll tell you why, because there's a bit more to this. Ferguson, in his book, he stated that the one player that he regretted not signing throughout his career was Paul Gascoigne.
yeah.
Dele Alli is like Paul Gascoigne.
He's like, oh, yeah, boy, you hit it.
Not exactly, but he does the flick tricks, and he's got a bit of a Gaza brain. And Ferguson still has that in the back of his mind. And Dele Alli is a kind of player, in my opinion, later on in the season when you start getting injuries, you behind Bill, Kane, and Son. Can you imagine if you had an informed Dele Alli? An informed Dele Alli behind those three will cause havoc. So yeah. Back to Faisal's comment, reminds me of Chris Hoddle and Ginola. Yes, I would say I will even compare him to Paul Gascoigne to a certain extent. Very flamboyant player, and hopefully, during the course of the season, he gets back into the team and shows us what he has.
Fair enough.
Fair
Joe,
enough,
any
fair
more
enough.
comments?
Yep. This is for Mohamed Naim again. Bale may lose some of his speed and agility, but his technique still on top. Maybe need more match sharpness. Prashant, you
enough,
just want to
true.
touch a little bit on this?
I agree. He's not played in months, right? He was frozen out at Madrid. He just needs the fitness. He needs the confidence. He needs the fitness. He needs to get back into the environment he grew up in. And I think, like I said, right, his intelligence would make up for his lack of speed. Seriously.
All right, perfect, man. There's one more from Syed Azmir. Neil, thank you so much for chiming in, bro. Liverpool, City, and Spurs have the best front three in the league. That's one of the reasons why I think it's only those three teams that will challenge for the league title. Ooh, Kel, you and me, we are thinking,
Nope.
okay. We'll see about it.
We'll be neutral and smile.
I mean, I can feel City and Spurs, but Liverpool right now, I think SGH is not enough. Probably they need to fill up CGH as well. You guys just need more wards and all this.
Yo,
I think. Sorry.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I actually think that Chelsea, they will actually get better as the season goes along because they had to fit in a lot of new players.
Mhm.
I think that they did quite well last season, but they were actually helped also because Spurs had a horrible season with terrible injuries, and United had a burst when they signed Fernandes. But I think Chelsea will actually get better. I don't think they'll be good enough to win the title. I actually still think the title will go to Liverpool, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
But
No.
having said that, as I said, if we can get the front three to work as it should work, we will definitely be challenging as well.
Fair enough.
Will have a much clearer picture after this next 6 games because there are 6 very tough games, and if we are there or thereabouts after that, this is the year that we will be up there and we will be challenging properly for the title, not to the last 2-3 games we slip off. No, this year we'll be there.
And,
We'll see.
speaking of rivals and Chelsea, I mean, let's just take a breather now. Let's just do something really quick. I'm gonna ask you guys, take a few seconds, think about this. How would you rank your top 3 London rivals
Right now,
as a whole? In your personal opinion, in your life, London rivals, who would you say your top 3? So we start with 3 being second, you really want to beat them, and 1 at all costs, we have to win every game with them. Who would be making your hit list of 3? Whoever's ready, fire away.
Okay, Chelsea, you have to win against Chelsea. Sorry to say, bro, that's the team I hate the most in the Premier League. Chelsea.
Yep, I get it a lot. I'm fine with that. So, Chelsea's the one that he's got to beat, number 1. Nothing else. Arsenal? Do you count Arsenal as second, or?
Arsenal is it's like a sibling rivalry. So Arsenal, it's different. You don't
Fair
like
enough.
them
Fair enough.
because they're like the well-to-do relative, but at times you are one up against them, so that's fine. But they're still like family. Chelsea is
Okay.
just an
Fair enough.
annoying kid that just came along the block and you hate. You absolutely hate.
It's the annoying kid that came with a lot of money, and
Yes,
we hold
exactly.
no.
That's
We
the one.
never once did we ever say sorry for that. So, Navin, yourself, top three, or one, or even your
Navin
one
is
if you
ready
can
to
say with
shoot.
it.
The one that's is probably for me West Ham. I just totally hate West Ham. For some reason, when they beat us, they celebrate like they win the World Cup or they win the Premier League or something. I still remember there was one time we were training for Champions League spot. I think they beat us, then they were celebrating like they won the league. I was like, what's wrong with Spurs? Oh,
Mm,
crack in the head. So yeah, the other two I have respect for. I respect Chelsea. I would put Chelsea as second. Uh, Chelsea has a bunch of new players right now, and I'll be very scared to play them next season. I hope you guys take this season to gel. Let us win first. Then next season you guys can come along. Yeah, so
fair
Chelsea
enough.
is in that position for me because with ZH and all that, once he hits
Yeah.
form,
Yeah.
God bless the other teams. To be honest, ZH insanely good player. Arsenal, I you were saying just now, it's like a sibling rivalry. But for me, I got no hatred towards Arsenal. I respect the team. The Invincibles and whatnot. Growing up, it was a depressing time for Spurs fans. It's nice to constantly finish above them now here and there. Stand talking Dave's mostly cancel all the time. So
Awesome.
I've got some Arsenal friends, and there's some light banter here going on and there. But
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
Arsenal right up there. I'm very happy for the fact that at least Aubameyang stayed with them because they are so used to their top players leaving and whatnot. So it was nice to see some uh,
Oh, slow
movement
jabs
from.
coming in, huh?
That's like a double
Nice little jabs in there.
I
Quiet
say
jabs.
the
Quiet
the rest
jabs.
can go and hit them. Okay, so
Prashant,
that
yourself, sir. Top three.
So mine will be, of course, be West Ham.
Okay.
Can't stand them. There's a picture of me outside the stadium giving the finger.
Oh.
Yeah, it's hidden somewhere. So West Ham is there. Chelsea for sure, right? I know, and everyone thinks it's Arsenal, but for me, it would always be. For some reason, I don't like Crystal Palace.
Oh,
Interesting.
interesting.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's just every time I see that team, I just go, no. It's just something that
Wow.
just irks me about them.
Crystal Palace. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's an interesting choice. This is really left field.
And the fun thing about Arsenal right now is this: it's just watching Arsenal fan TV. I think that's the funniest show on
Oh,
YouTube.
dude.
Yeah, I'm Arsenal fan TV. Love Arsenal fan TV. Always,
Love it. Whenever Arsenal lose on a Monday morning, you're feeling down, get some humor in the morning.
Arsenal fan TV.
First thing the other day, they walked 3-0 like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Shazad, yourself, your top three London rivals, how do you rank them?
Definitely, like the guys are saying, West Ham don't even deserve to be breathing the same air as us, but they somehow deign themselves to be our rivals. I don't know how that's worked out. It's really, really weird. But they raise their game. They raise their game whenever they play us. I don't understand it. But yeah, they would be number three. It's really hard between the top two. There is. It's kind of when you grow up supporting Tottenham, you're told it's Arsenal, Arsenal, Arsenal. But there is something visceral about Chelsea. Sorry, Cal. It's just visceral about them. And just a very quick story. When I was outside Stamford Bridge once, I was there for a contest. I was producing a sports show, and I was doing it for Samsung, right? Who were then sponsoring Chelsea, and it was a bus full of Koreans, and we were outside a Chelsea bar, a pub, on the way to a Chelsea Liverpool game, and all the Chelsea fans looked up, saw this bar, and it was a traffic jam, so we couldn't move, so we were stuck in front of the Chelsea bar, this pub, and the Chelsea fans, all of them started Nazi saluting the bus. All right, this was in 2005, guys. 2005. There was just something nasty. I watched Chelsea versus Tottenham in the previous season, the Poch's last season, in March of last year. It was really unpleasant to be in there, and I kept quiet. Unlike your cousin Cal, I kept very, very quiet. I knew where what to do and what not to do, and I just don't like Chelsea. Yeah.
And that would also explain whenever we play futsal and I wore the Chelsea jersey, you always give me a little bit of an extra bite tackle on my ankle and then say, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, bro. I didn't see you.
Can I even say
Dude,
sorry?
I'm massive. I'm massive. You cannot miss me. But yeah,
Oh
but
my God,
interesting. No, interesting. I mean, the one that stood out for me obviously is Prashant's Crystal Palace. That
Yeah,
stood out
Crystal Palace.
really differently as well. Yeah.
Kel, I mean, that came out of nowhere, but their common enemy is, I'm so sorry, Kel, it's Chelsea and
It's expected,
Arsenal.
man.
I mean, it's expected. Unworry, if you're watching this, Navid have said it. If they are winning you guys and always going one up, I think Arsenal is nothing to Spurs. You guys are just like, meh. And I do think that Spurs might be winning the Europa League this season. And after which, I think Arsenal, I think they're going to be away from the history, guys. It's going to be like that. Fellas, we are going to be touching on the last agenda for the day. But before that, I'd like to ask this question. All right, leave the banters aside. What do you guys think you can achieve this season? The talk of silverware, because it's a new club, it's a new manager, blah, blah, blah. Realistically, what will you win this season? Thank you, Hey Jude, for chiming in with your comment. We are coming up to the last agenda for the night, season's expectation. We'll go round the clock. Probably we can start off with Navin. Tell us about your season expectation for this season for Tottenham Hotspur.
You know, Conor McGregor predicts things. I'm predicting things this time. 1951, 1961, 2021. Tottenham Hotspur wins the Premier League. It's our year. And it's not just the Premier League. I'm going to add a double to that. It's either going to be the League Cup and the UEFA Cup as well. And you heard it here first. Come on, you Spurs.
All
Let's
right,
hope
man.
that actually ages well. A fun fact before we begin. I mean, Mourinho in his second season, Navin, you're mentioning he always wins a title. He didn't do so with United, but he did so in other clubs in the second season. And another fun fact, whenever Chelsea helps a team win the title, they themselves win the title the following season. I'm just saying, I'm just putting it out there. I'm gonna represent my Blues a little bit.
I
But
think we're
no,
going to stay with Navin for a moment, Kel. I think there's a question from the mayor himself. Kel, you want to read this?
yeah, so Navin, is it a little too early to give Spurs a top 4 placing with their current form? If it's not, which top 4 placing will that be for Jose and Spurs?
Is that? I'm not even looking at the top 4 placing. I'm looking at the first
He wants
place.
to be a champion. Yeah, exactly, he's just looking to be a champion.
Oh!
Brazen.
You got to think
Okay.
like a champion. So I'm
Fair
going
enough.
into the Mourinho mindset now. Get one
All right.
game at a time. You win every game. The points accumulate. You win the league. So you know
Dave,
what? Yeah.
If you guys win the league, this is how it's going to look like in the celebration, guys. Fireworks all around it. I can imagine Shezad is not going to be in the bar. He will pay 12K to go into the stadium. Navin will somehow get someone to sponsor him to go in there. Definitely, guys.
I'll be
If
there.
you ever, guys, have space in your luggages, please fix me and Kel inside too. We would love to join you fellas there.
we might go over the weight limit here.
All right, Shezad. Prashant,
Yeah.
what's your season's expectation for this first team?
FA Cup and League Cup double.
All right.
FA Cup, League Cup double. And in terms of the league placing, where do you think Spurs might finish this season?
I have this really, really sneaky feeling it's going to be second, and it's going to be like by 2 points.
Oh, sneaky finish
It's
by
a
2
very
points.
sneaky feeling.
Woo! All right. Dave, over to you, brother.
Okay, as I mentioned, I think we should be in the top 4 this season. Whether we'll be challenging for the title depends on the gelling of the front three and injuries. Injuries is always what changes seasons. Look at Liverpool. They were doing so well 2 years without hardly any injuries at all. They won everything, but now suddenly they have all the injuries. Karma is a bitch. It comes back. Yeah. So this is what's happening to them now, lah. They're getting what they didn't have before. Okay. For the other trophies, I have a strong feeling we might win the League Cup, because even our next game is against Stoke. After that is the semis, and Mourinho is the master of this competition. So I think the League Cup will have a good chance. FA Cup, I don't know what the fixtures will be like come January and February with COVID still going on, and the Europa and the League Cup and the league. So FA Cup is the ball's in the air. We don't know what's going to happen. But
All right, Dave. That's nice.
Europa definitely. Yeah, sorry. Europa definitely, I think, will do quite well. I think we'll reach the knockouts. How far we'll go? Maybe the
Yep.
finals. Maybe.
Fair
All
enough.
right.
And you just mentioned injuries. Quickly, just hot off the press. Matt Doherty has tested positive for COVID-19.
Yeah.
Oh
So
man.
Shaz's reaction tells you, oh, look at him. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay. I
It's
mean,
COVID. It's
come on.
not a freaking
That
hamstring
means
or.
Aurier has to play. That's the problem.
Aurier
Oh
is there.
yeah.
Oh,
Aurier.
It's not so
Aurier,
bad though. Against City, I think Aurier will be the better choice actually,
Oh
because
yeah.
Aurier will be attacking, and City's
Yep.
defense are a bit shaky at the moment. So I don't think
Yeah.
that's too bad.
All right.
Thank you, Sandeep Singh, for the breaking news. Shaz, expectations this season. Let's put that aside. It's COVID. 2 weeks he's back on the pitch. What are
Yeah.
your expectations?
no. Now you've talked about Doherty. That changes everything. No, just kidding. Look, one thing I'll just correct you on, Cal.
Yep.
You said that he didn't win anything in the second season, but actually he has won in his first full season with every club. Okay.
Yep.
Mourinho has. So this will be his first full season. We've got the best squad we've ever had,
Okay.
but we're also Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm as optimistic as positive as we're all feeling. I think it's just a bit early, really early. I want to temper my expectations because we have been here before, like 4 years ago. So I don't want to commit yet. I know that's a cop out. I apologize. I know we're going to have a pretty good season. Some people might be happy with just a couple of cups. I'd like to think we're beyond that. I prefer top four to an FA Cup or Europa League, to be honest with you. I think we're a club that needs to be aiming for league titles or in Europe, right? So,
Yep.
But on the other hand, we're desperate for anything. So I will take a trophy of some sort, and I want to be back in Champions League. I'm going to set my expectations really low so that we ever do a review show, I can be cheering in about 3 months, 4 months, 5 months.
So they actually age well, basically. You want it to age well, playing it safe, smart. And before we end the show, actually, really quick, you guys got Man City coming up. Now with this Doherty news coming in, what do you think? If you were to play punditry right now, give me your scoreline. What do you think? You guys will eke out a win against Man City? Will it be a draw? Let's not talk about losing because you guys want to win the title, right, Navin? So, based on this news right now, what do you think the result will be? Really quick.
The last time I came on, I said 1-1, and then Spurs won. So I'm going to stick to the same prediction.
Good.
Maybe 1-1 against City, and hopefully, something else happens.
All right,
So,
Prashant.
2-1 to Spurs.
All right, okay.
Right.
Dave.
Score draw. City have injuries. We might have COVID, and don't know who else will be out because of isolation and all these things.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a score draw.
Playing it safe, fair enough. Shez.
Two not very good defenses, two great sets of attacks. Depending on Aguero's probably not going to be around, but I'll go for a high score draw, 2-2.
2-2. All right, so
Ooh, 2-2 draw, man.
2 draws, 2 wins.
Kel,
Yeah, so
that City Spurs game is going to be one of the best games to watch. I think
Yep.
the City Liverpool game was such a ball. I almost slept. I think I'm hoping for another cracking game. I hope Spurs might come up with another big scoring game like how they trashed United. I
Yeah,
don't feel
quick
for
one.
it, but the thing is, I just feel that they can really rack up a double this season against the Manchester sides. I'm probably going for a 5-1 Spurs victory, man. What do you think, Kel?
holy moly. Dude,
You
what
never
have
know.
you been drinking during Diwali? Are you still drunk or what, bro? 5-1.
I think we
What
can do it,
crazy
bro.
scorelines are coming back now, bro?
Listen, if Son
You know-
can run riot against Lindelof and Maguire, what makes you think Son can't run riot against Ruben Diaz and Laporte? That's a fair justification there, bro.
You got a point, but 5-1. Wow, you really Singapore Pools loves you, man. Taking money from you every weekend, I guess. I would go with the 1-0. I would go with the 1-0. Mourinho might just find a way to get the better of Pep Guardiola, who seems at times to be losing his mind in certain games. But yeah, I'll go with the 1-0 to Spurs. I don't believe as a Chelsea fan I'm saying this, but you got to call it as it is, right? So 1-0. But
Yeah,
boys,
bro.
30th of November, you might hear from me. where Chelsea and Spurs have a little
Mhm.
game. So we'll see what happens then. But yeah. So Joe,
It's coming up for triple header, John. It's like coming. Okay, it's coming in for. I think it's
City?
Spurs City, followed by Chelsea, followed by
No, it's City,
Arsenal,
Arsenal, then Chelsea.
and then Chelsea. So it's like the three hated teams for them. Just that, Prashant, I think you got to wait for Crystal Palace for a long time. I think probably next year. I think. But
That's all
guys,
good. I can wait.
it's been a great time with you guys. It's been, I think, a beautiful show having
Yep.
Tottenham Hotspur fans here. I think out there, I think people were thinking that in that shot, people think that we were against Tottenham Hotspur and we dislike Tottenham Hotspur. But fellas, here we are with four beautiful guests sharing their thoughts on Tottenham Hotspur. Navin, Prashant, Dave, and Shazad. Guys, thank you so much for this. And I think it's been a wonderful time with you guys, even though knowing that it kind of sucks having that you guys are here, knowing that you guys have stressed us 6 months. But nonetheless, it's been an honor having you guys, Kel. Wonderful
Yeah,
show,
man.
right?
And I think we've learned a lot about Spurs as well. From the insights of a fan's perspective, we don't see what you read one thing, but you hear the fans telling you and see the emotions when you find out Dorothy's out with COVID. It's just raw emotion you don't get it elsewhere reading a paper.
Yeah.
But guys, thank you for the education of Spurs. Thank you for sharing your love of Spurs. From White Hart Lane to now to Pochettino, Mourinho, Bale. All these things we touched on really educated the audience, and thank you very much.
Yeah, guys. And
Guys.
Navin, Prashant, and Dave, and Sujat, thank you so much, fellas, guys. Guys, we're going to put you back in the background. We'll get to see you guys in the lobby in a minute before me and Kel wrap this up. So, fellas, thank you so much once again. We'll see you guys in a minute, all right?
Yes, come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Kel, what a show it's been, Kel. It's been such
Dude,
a beautiful day. With Spurs,
Amazing, man.
this is the time where I feel like, wow, the Spurs Singapore, they do really have a strong squad with them.
Yeah,
to
they
get
do.
even
They do have
great-
a really very passionate base, and I have family members who are Spurs fans as well. And you like to see a club like that where the fans are so real and raw, right? And you love it. And I always say it from day one, looking at who they brought in and the manager they have. No way in hell you can say they're not going to be fighting for something. So it makes for interesting season. It makes for a really good season. But yeah, and that actually brings us to the big focus on Thursday as well, Joe, where we'll be
Yes, bro.
previewing the Man City Spurs game, right?
Yep.
9 p.m. The big focus.
Don't forget to tune in 9 p.m. where we have the Mayor and Anwari hosting the show on Thursday. We will
Yep.
not be having any show tomorrow for us. He's taking a break because he had a show last week, taking us a trip to Turin and back to Singapore. So tune in for this Thursday for the Big Focus 9 p.m. whereby we'll be touching base with all the fixtures played in the weekend. Football is back, Kel. Finally, football is back, Kel.
Fingers crossed, man. Fingers crossed with all these crazy things
Fingers
happening in the world.
all
Fingers
this
crossed,
always
bro.
happening. Fellas, before we wrap this up, please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. This is our name at Napshot Studio. So please have a shout out, Kel.
Yeah, and guys who've been sending me requests for a few posters for your clubs, no worries, I can do it and send it your way. More than happy to do it. Just follow us and I'll get stuff your way. No worries about it. But yeah, great show. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching, commenting, sharing, subscribing. It means a
Yes.
lot to us. So yeah,
It's been a wonderful show, Kel. And Kel, it's awesome to be back with you once again. Fellas,
nice to have you back,
those
brother.
that's watching and all the millions watching out there, happy Diwali. Stay safe, drink wisely, eat basically nicely though. Enjoy your food. Guys, stay safe. COVID is still there, despite all the arrangements being there. Fellas, this was a beautiful Monday with the Tottenham Hotspur fans. We learned something from them. And as usual, Mondays is always a learning program. Kel, thank you for time, Kel. And fellas,
Thank you, brother.
that's a wrap for this. Thank you so much. And it's
Take
a wrap,
care.
guys. Take care.
Bye.